Hello viewers, and welcome to a brand new episode of Trashtalk on Fabula Ultima, Techno Fantasy Edition, a series where I talk about the various classes you can mix together to create your desired heroic characters in your Fabula Ultima campaign. In today's episode, Pilot, probably not surprised to hear this class won the poll on my Patreon and Ko-fi. It's on brand I suppose. Pilot, Biker, Mecha Pilot, Sky Pirate. Pilots are those that develop a special bond with their vehicle. It becomes more than just a vehicle, like an extension of their body which they can rely on for battle and travel. In terms of mechanic, the Pilot class is almost like its own description. It effectively extends the prowess of any other classes the character has, and it does this with a vehicle system that can essentially switch up the capability of a vehicle in or out of combat, with the right skill. The only problem is that it's an actual vehicle. Sometimes you might wreck it so hard, you need something, probably Zenith, to fix it. Sometimes you are in places where it just won't fit even with magical solution. Of course, JRPG battle tends to not happen in tight as ass corridor even with underground dungeon, so that might apply less often than you would think. As for the pilot's free benefits, you get 2, permanent increase of health by +5, and ability to use martial melee and ranged weapons, which is going to be useful given that vehicle weapons, unsurprisingly, hit somewhat harder. It will at least close down the distance between the damage of hand and vehicle weapons to make the pilot less constantly relying on vehicle for damage. I mean, you would still be, but at least it won't be as annoying when you can't. Now, let's move on to the pilot skills, starting with compression tech. Compression tech, as long as nobody is on board your vehicle, you can make it safely disappear through magical or technological means. If your personal vehicle isn't present in the world and you are in a space big enough to contain it, you may perform inventory action and spend 2 IP to summon and enter it for free. You want to take your vehicle literally everywhere. Well, there you go. This might get problematic if your personal vehicle is an entire bus strapped with guns, but even if you have to walk down a human-sized hallway, you will be able to summon your vehicle as long as you are fighting somewhere big. This is a one-point investment, so it's a good idea to pick it, though if you personally want to separately roleplay as a pilot on foot and pilot not on foot more often, or because you want more power to your vehicle, you can just not pick this. Second, flexible configuration. When you perform equipment or guard action while driving your personal vehicle, you may choose up to 4 of its enabled modules and disable them in exchange for activating an equal amount of them. Modules are essentially what give capabilities to your personal vehicle. This includes armor module and weapon module to switch depending on the threat, and support modules which provide interesting utility, like flight, or burrow through ground, or target better, and other things. These can be switched outside of conflict as you can potentially get more modules than your vehicle can handle. What this skill does is it lets you do that in conflict on the go, like a transforming vehicle, or one that's simply jam-packed with systems, letting you adapt to a changing situation better. Third, heart in the engine. At the start of your turn in conflict while driving your personal vehicle, you may spend 10 MP and choose one option. The next time you deal damage this turn, deal up to 6 extra damage, or, the next time you suffer damage before the start of your next turn, reduce it by up to 4, or you recover from either slow or weak status effects. The benefits do appear to be rather weak considering the MP you have spent, but bear in mind, you can do this without spending action. It's just something you can do for MP alone, so consider that plus whatever action you are about to commit in that turn. It can be useful in those turns you need them for, and it can get even better if you solely drive on 4 wheels. You will get why later. Fourth, personal vehicle. The actual skill you need to get your personal vehicle, plus a frame of your choices and 3 modules. When you acquire the skill again, acquire 2 additional modules which you can put in your vehicle. So, let's talk about vehicle. How does it actually works? A vehicle is consisted of 2 parts, the frame and modules. There's 3 frames, exoskeleton, mecha, and steed, which covers everything from car to starfighter to actual horse. The frames essentially define what your pilot is like, as you can't change them. A personal vehicle is exactly that. It's not just any vehicle, it's something your pilot is attuned to, not something you can just buy from a local used car salesman. Exoskeleton can have 2 weapons, and using compression tech on this doesn't cost IP. However, it lacks the distance modifier which is needed to travel faster. Steed can only have 1 weapon, which means you are encouraged to wield some cumbersome big guns, but heart in the engine with Steed costs 0 MP, so you can just use it like every goddamn turn, and can also carry 1 additional passenger. And then there's mecha, nothing special, it's in the middle of the road, pun fully intended. Modules really define how a vehicle is like, and as you level up personal vehicle, you can enable more active modules at once, up to 8 in total. you are limited to not a lot of weapon and armor modules, so the rest will be support modules which can be useful in a lot of circumstances, not just in narrative scenarios, but also aiding in your role and more. And remember, this is only for active modules, so you can actually have way more inactive modules that you can switch out for any situations. Think of it as like an inventory for your vehicle. How do you actually drive a vehicle around? Just play it as normal. The vehicle is quite literally an extension of your character. You attack with weapon module if the vehicle has any, you tank with armor module if the vehicle has any. As for spells, you just cast them. You totally can be a magic casting mecha pilot if you want to, and since modules are just like equipment, it's possible for the GM or you if you are an tinkerer to create rare and powerful module of your own and slap it onto your vehicles. You can really do a lot of things with the pilot class to enhance your character's other classes. It's important to not think of your character as merely a pilot, but rather insert adjective, verb, noun, or pronoun pilot. There's just a lot of things you can do. And lastly, there's strong grip. When you perform accuracy check with a weapon module, you may replace one of the attributes with might. With this skill, doesn't matter what weapon module you are using, as long as you are gritting your teeth, you can shoot and cast basic magic more accurately. After putting 10 points into pilot, it is now considered as mastered and you can pick a heroic skill for it. In total, there's 5 pilot-specific heroic skills, 3 in Techno Fantasy, 1 in Natural Fantasy, and 1 in the 6th Fabula Ultima bonus supplement. First, in Techno Fantasy, there's dynamic synchronization. At the start of your turn during a conflict, if you are driving your personal vehicle, you may choose one option: synchronize with another player character that's driving their own personal vehicle, or synchronize with another player that's on board your own vehicle, and gain the following benefits. When you perform check, you may use the current attribute dices of the other character. When you deal damage, deal extra damage equal to the strength of your bond towards them plus their bond towards you. You may spend an action to perform a free attack with an enabled or disabled weapon module present on the other player's personal vehicle, and when your turn ends, the other player can take their turn immediately after yours if they haven't already. This lasts until the end of the scene, or until one of you drops dead, falls unconscious, leaves the scene, synchronizes with someone else, or is no longer aboard a personal vehicle. This is a powerful heroic skill to say the least. Even without enough friendship or college roommate, this is an incredible amount of benefits that can be shared between the two of you, as long as both of you are on board on some kind of personal vehicle. More importantly, you can just do it for free, no MP, no action, all power. This is a top tier option for sure. Second, Overload Burst, which also requires the compression tech skill. Choose a damage type between bolt, dark, fire, ice, and light. When you are reduced to 0 health for the first time during a scene, you may choose to be reduced to exactly 1 HP instead. If you do, you and all passengers if any leave your personal vehicle, which disappears from the world, and also immediately ran over someone for your crisis score worth of damage. Next time you summon your vehicle, it will cost an addition of 1 Fabula point to do so. How many 0 health loss can the Guardian survive at this point? You gonna hear a voice saying college ball the next time you pick Guardian for your character, but anyway, this will keep you and probably your passengers alive for just a little longer from a RPG strike, and could even assault whoever that does it as an insult. Defense and offense mixed together, it's nice. And last, for Techno Fantasy, there's Steel Witch. After you cast the first spell of your turn during conflict, if you are driving your personal vehicle, you may choose one option: switch an enabled module for a disabled one to enable it, or the next spell you cast before the end of the scene deals 5 extra damage, or the next spell you cast that restores HP restores 10 additional HP. You want to be an even better magic using pilot? Well, there you go. This is something you can just do for free practically every turn now, and in a way, the fact that this can act like flexible configuration will also be quite useful for those situations where you just want to change your vehicle a little bit. Next up on Natural Fantasy, there's Brave Bash, which can also be unlocked by Commander, Fury, Guardian, and Weapon Master, but essentially requires Weapon Master Bone Crusher skill even if it wasn't stated otherwise. This is a heroic skill where if you have a shield, you can force an enemy to focus on you, and also deal extra damage with free attack from melee weapons. One thing you should remember that you can totally do as a pilot is that you and your vehicle can have a different set of weapons, allowing you to just switch it up on the fly if you have compression tech, meaning you can switch from going on the offensive to playing as a tank to catch the enemy's attention. And it's quite easy for a pilot to get a source of free attack by using the secondary offensive module. I'm just not sure if it's a good idea since you still need an action to perform this free attack, so it might be a good idea to get other sources of it instead. And lastly, in the 6th Fabula Ultima bonus supplement, there's Nether Slash, which can also be unlocked by Darkblade, Elementalist, and must requires the Shadow Strike skill. And to summarize, this skill basically enhances every aspect of the Shadow Strike skill, which is a health reducing powerful attack slash. Only get this if you like shadow striking with every opportunity, and have the health to do so. And that's basically it on Pilot, the flyboys and girls that love to drive a hunk of metal around and smash it into someone's face. That's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe and click that notification bell button. If you want to see the videos early as well as further support my channel, you can join in my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.